Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right.
Testing, testing, testing.
How many mics you have up here?
Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Are good now, Matthew? Okay. You're going to turn it up. Okay. Testing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time, and we should begin. Yes. Okay, good afternoon, students, alumni, distinguished faculty, and of course, honored guests. Welcome to the Abe Issa Auditorium here at St. George's. Today we gather for the final installment of our Pioneers of Tomorrow lecture series, a program designed to inspire ambition, resilience, and leadership among our students. My name is Peter Lindo. I'm class of 1976, and it is my honor to act as Master of Ceremonies for this special occasion. Just some acknowledgements. First of all, we have some special guests with us. Mr. Leonard Mackenzie has come here from New York, especially for this last event. Please give him some applause. And also in the audience, we're graced by Professor Robert Hill, who is here especially as well. Give him some applause. Okay, most generally then, we extend gratitude to our school leadership, particularly Ms. Clarine McFarlane, Dean of Sixth Form. The organizing committee, and all who have worked tirelessly to make this lecture series a success. I must make a special mention of my dear friend Stephen Hill, who was the conceptualizer of the lecture series and whose energy sustains it on every occasion. Give Stephen a round of applause, please. Stephen, take a bow, man. And of course, we thank you, the students and guests, for being here and to share in this moment of learning and inspiration. Now, we're going to go into the national anthem. Please cue it, and please stand for the national anthem. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, now I am going to hand over to Mrs. Margaret Campbell, the principal of St. George's, to do the official welcome. Here you go.
MC, Mr. Peter Lindo, our very special guest, Mr. Donovan Lewis and Mrs. Lewis, as well as his daughter, Catherine Lewis Jones, his sister, Mrs. Chung, the CEO of True Foundation, Mr. Suretsi Bell, as well as all board members, directors, staff members, and affiliates of the Ideal Group of Companies. Sponsors, First Global, we welcome Ms. Safara Hendricks from First Global, and Mr. Al Edwards, who will be introducing our guest speaker from Out Today, or Today Media, I'm sorry, as well as all other special guests. We also welcome specially Professor Hill and his wife. We're happy to have you with us. All honored guests, welcome. We welcome especially our young people this afternoon and those who are, the adults who are with them from the schools. We are so very happy to have you this afternoon. I won't try to name the schools. Hopefully that will be recognized later, but welcome one and all. This afternoon, we are happy to welcome you to St. George's College, where our goal for you is that you will grow to transform our society and our world. The theme and mission of St. George's College has embedded in it that we want to shape young people of conscience, competence, and compassion, who will assume leadership roles. I've said it so many times I can say it from my head. Leadership roles in transforming societies and the world. As we look around us, there are so many examples that are not good for you to follow, things that will hold you back. But this afternoon, we have an example. This is the third in our lecture series of men who represent people of conscience, competence, and compassion who are transforming the world. We hope that by you're engaging with them, you will be inspired to do the same. We are a tremendous people, Jamaican people are, and there is nothing that we cannot accomplish if we change our mindset and recognize that all we have to do is try. In the recent disaster, Hurricane Melissa, I was taken aback, as I'm sure many of you were, by the outpouring of love from the world. When we think about all the things that Jamaica is good at, we are first in so many things. We're a tiny little island, and yet we are first in a lot of different things. One of the recent surveys that was done put Jamaica as number one. I'm not going to say it right. I'm not sure about the exact wording, but put it as number one in the people most likely to help you, right? We're one of the most people who will help you the most. You can look it up. And so there it is. And I hear some of you laughing, which is the thing. We don't value ourselves. There's so much good about us. And so this afternoon, we'll continue to transform that in ourselves, to recognize that we are leaders in the world from this tiny island, and so that you'll be inspired to become that yourself. You are leaders in your school community. I encourage you this afternoon to listen very carefully to the words of our guest speaker. He has a lot to share. He's an amazing personality who has accomplished much. And the biggest part of the thing that impacted me the most when I met him is his generous spirit and his sense of humor. So I want to encourage you to listen carefully this afternoon, to allow your lives to be transformed by his words, to be inspired to find your greatness, because you're all great. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us this afternoon. Welcome and enjoy the proceedings.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Campbell. Next on the program is a musical item, and it's going to be done by the very talented members of the St. George's Drum Ensemble, and they're coming in now. Please make them welcome. Clap them as they come in. Okay, gentlemen and lady, anytime you're ready. Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you very much. Now, this afternoon guest speaker, Mr. Donovan Lewis, is one of our very own, a proud alumnus of St. George's College, whose journey exemplifies vision, determination, and service. And to do the formal introduction I invite to the podium Mr. Al Edwards, CEO of Our Today and renowned journalist. So Al, please come up and do the introduction.
Hello, good afternoon all. Today we will hear an insightful presentation from Donovan Anthony Lewis. He is Jamaica and the Caribbean's foremost investor, a man who has built a group of companies, and he embodies and epitomizes that aphorism, character is destiny. Donovan Lewis attended St. Aloysius Boys School before going on to JC Institute. He then went on to the College of Arts, Science and Technology in UWI. Before beginning his career as an accountant auditor, he's got a head for figures and it did pay off. He worked for A.E. Phillips and K.P. Forrester. He was later appointed the CFO of Watson's Off-Course Betting Group. He then went on to build his 12 companies within the Ideal Company groups, and today, as a testament to his abilities and his character, his very own children, both Catherine and Luke, work within the group of companies. That in itself is a testament to what he's all about. It's no good just having success by itself, but what do you do with that success? Most of us see success through the prism of the first person. I want success. I want a big house. I want a car with silver rims. I want, the first person. But really what we're going to find out is, what do you do with that success? Do you have the character, the wherewithal to give back, to leave a footprint, to leave something greater than yourself? The most important investment you can make is in yourself. In the words of Warren Buffett, that great investor, very much like Donovan, a person's main asset is themselves. So preserve and embrace yourself. Now, one of the greatest investors is John D. Rockefeller. And if you look throughout history, Rockefeller, the Mellons, the Carnegies, very successful. But what did they all have in common? They all gave back. They used their success for the betterment of mankind, their communities, and their people. That's very much what Donovan does. As John D. Rockefeller said, the secret of success is to do the common things uncommonly well. Now, I could hear that coming from Donovan at one of our lunches, or one of the things he talks about, the ability to pass on. Without further ado, let's hear from Donovan Lewis. Thank you all.
Thank you, Hal, for that introduction. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Reverend Ronnie Tweets, Father Oswald. Also present is Professor Hill and our principal, Mrs. Campbell. I also like to acknowledge the presence of one of the leading pediatricians in Jamaica, Cindy Roden. And okay, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for this opportunity to be here today to present to you as a young man what was taught to me in the early stage of my life from my mother. I'd like to thank God for giving me the inspiration and putting me in a position to express my experience today. I hope this will lend some benefit to you. I thank my mother for guiding me, who nurtured me into adulthood. I remember my mother used to say, there's no limit to the love of God. Whoever speaks the truth will prosper. I was not just our most obedient boy. I learned a lot from her, even the unspoken lessons, by virtue of the way she lived with her unwavering support, love, and guidance, for believing in me throughout my life and molded me to the person today. In the rich life lessons which she could have given me to walk in truth and a honest path in life for successful living. I recall one of the most important things my mother used to say to me: utilize your time well, for time gone could not be replaced. At that time, I did not realize what she was saying, as I later learned that this was one of my most valuable resources, time. I recognize today that if I did not utilize this valuable resource, I would not or be nowhere. Today, looking back, recognizing a symbiotic relationship between time and wealth creation, there is indeed a truth in saying time is money. I need to thank my wife and children for the comfort they have given me over the years during my period of dismay. My wife has always been the bedrock over 51 years of marriage. A beacon for my success. Without my family, I do not know how would I manage. I thank God for their support. I'd also like to extend my appreciation to Mr. Stephen Hill and Dr. Trevor Monroe in affording me the opportunity to express to you today my experiences in life over the last couple decades. I will say this: when we deal with adversity, train the mind to see the changes as a way to make something positive happen. We must see success and failure for what they are. They are not opposite, but instead are the same side of the coin. Your habit, whether good or bad, will greatly determine your future. Now I'd like you to adopt what I'm about to say. No one can tell you to live your life. That's none of my business, nor is it anyone's business, but yours. But there's a way to live which will bring the success you seek if you'll pay attention to what I'm about to say. There are certain things we need to control throughout our lives. These are fear, emotions, desires, and sleep. If we can control these actions within our lives, it will lead to success. One should also recognize that life sits on 4 legs: the mental, the physical, the spiritual, and the financial. Remember, you'll become what you believe and think about. If you want to know what you will become, just listen to your utterances. As you go forth throughout your lives, do not focus on your mistakes. Move on, be happy, and forget the past. Call out the successful you, the patient you, the blessed you. We are renewed by the transformation of our minds. You're a masterpiece, unlike any other before you or after you. God will open doors that no man can shut. Our attitude is incalculable, the most powerful thing. It can bring about marvelous results for us, but we must train our action, feeling, and mood towards people who we come into contact with patience, day by day. Good attitude, good results. Fair attitude, fair results. Bad attitude, bad results. The successful person, when he or she occasionally fails at something, shrugs it off and head right out again. They have a healthy attitude towards themselves and have a natural and as a natural result towards life and the things they can accomplish. Radiate the attitude of well-being, of confidence, of a person who knows where he's going. You'll find good things start to happen to you. It is important that we never make an opportunity to pay an honest compliment to a person go by. People need to be appreciated. Putting your long-term investment in place in the early period of your life so that you will continue to compound is of great importance. And keep adding to your investment as you proceed through life, which will lead to financial independence. This is important to create a good flow of positive income in the latter period of your life. There's nothing more pitiful than the person who wastes his life running from one thing to another and never staying with one thing long enough to find it. You know that many of our companies will double in size during 8 to 10 years. It takes only 10% gain per year. The people who succeed in life have a great attitude towards themselves as a natural result towards life and the things they can accomplish. They expect more good out of life than bad, and they succeed more often than they fail. They do. No man can become, let me repeat that, no man can become rich without enriching others. He who adds to prosperity must prosper in turn. The moment you're a contributing factor, you are developing the right attitude. You have moved all competition. You are creating rather than competing. You are affecting life rather than passively receiving whatever it has to give. You are becoming a contributor instead of a feeder. When you go into the work world and are employed, if you see no limit to the growth of your company, does it make sense to realize there's no limit as to how far you can reach or progress within its framework? It's amazing that the majority of people have to learn things the hard way, generation after generation, not recognizing what you put out is what you must get back in return. If a person is unhappy with his income, he must examine and reevaluate his service. Every time we drink a glass of water, turn on the light, use our phone, use our car, put on our clothes, we are being served by other human beings. So whatever you seek in the form of reward, you must first earn in the form of services to others. A man's discontent can be said to be represented by the distance between what he has and what he wants. Once he has achieved that which he wants, the odds are good that he will want more, for that's the way of people, and that's good. Constructive discontent is what gives us our continuing upward spiral of civilization. Our fulfillment as individuals depend on our reaction to what we have been given. Each day we should ask ourselves, how can I increase my services, knowing that my reward in life must be in proportion to my service? If you continue the process, you would have formed one of the most valuable habits in the world. This is truth we need to form, that all accomplishment is built upon the habits we form in life. Don't worry about our income or the future. Concern yourself only with increasing your service, and your income and future will take care of themselves. Do not sit before the fireplace and say, "Give me heat, then I will add the wood." You may sit there and freeze to death. Serve first, pile in the wood, and the heat will follow. We are the only one from whom we can steal time and wealth. It is knowing where we put our investment to obtain the largest and most satisfactory return. Living successfully is a matter of forming the right habits, which is the honesty on which everything is built. The greatest joy a human being can know is the joy of accomplishment. You have time, the one thing which is completely outside the control of man, which cannot be stopped nor held back for even an instant. Make use of these great riches to the fullest while you have them. Why say, "I wish I could do it all over again"? There will always be frustration in every life. When they come, remember a quotation that was written by Dean Briggs, which goes like this: "Do your work, not just your work, but a little more for lavishing's sake. That little more will worth all the rest. If you suffer as you must, and if you doubt as you must, do your work, then the sky will clear. Then out of your very doubt and suffering will be found the supreme joy of life. Therefore, proceeding successfully through a lifetime should be a matter of progressively setting goals, one after another, each a little better than the former. Therefore, establishing a goal is important to our success. None of us has the slightest notion of the capability of our mind, one of the most powerful force in the world, capable of bringing about marvelous accomplishment for us if properly used. Remember that getting the things we want from life is a matter of setting goals, one after another. Your goal is in the future. Your problem is to bridge the gap between where we are and the goal we intend to reach. This is what we need to solve. Remember that every one of us is not without problems. They are part of living. Therefore, getting the things we want from life is a matter of setting goals, one after another. Statistics have shown that 40% of the things we worry about never happen. 30% have already happened and can't be changed with all the worries in the world. 12% are needless worries about our health. And 10% are petty, miscellaneous worries. Only 8% are real. 92% of our thought process of worries take up valuable time. So therefore, we must be capable of controlling our thought process if we are going to succeed. We must find something that will make us make an extra effort of will. So let your goal be your excitement. Your ideas and effort will come to fruition, and your reward will follow. Understand and believe this. It will bring you everything you want. It's not the occupation, it is a person. It's not your present circumstances which count, but the circumstances you make up your mind to achieve that are important. All you need is a plan and the courage to arrive at your destination. You must demonstrate faith by setting your goals. Where people run into problems is not achieving their goals. They can do that. It is setting goals where they run into problems. In order for us to reach our goals, we'll need to motivate ourselves so that we can do the things we do, live the life we want, and achieve the things we set out to achieve. Some people make this choice consciously, others unconsciously, as a result of environmental conditioning. Our insurance salesman will tell you at the age of 25 that by the time you reach 65, only one person would have achieved his or her goal. 4 are financially independent for the rest of their lives. 5 are still working. 36 have died. And 54 are flat broke. We have to ask ourselves, why does this happen? When most people would like to achieve financial independence during their lifetime. Is here we begin to see motivational forces at work, which I believe is closely associated to environmental conditioning. This is a tendency to act, think, and talk like the people by whom we are surrounded. People are not flat broke or destitute at 65 because they are denied the opportunity to achieve their goals, but because they have conformed to people who surround them every day that does not stress financial independence or the importance of this. People tend to be molded by their environment which they find themselves. But how can we avoid this? We must begin to think objectively for what we really are. Distinct individuals with unlimited opportunities. We need to assess what we are working towards. It is said no horse gets anywhere unless it is harnessed. No gas or steam drive anything unless it is confined. No Niagara turn light into power unless it is tunnel. No life ever grows great unless it's focused, dedicated, and disciplined. Remember, our minds are our most valuable possession. You need to pay some attention to it. Every time you write your goal on a sheet of paper, do not worry or become concerned about it. Think of it as only waiting to be reached. Let me repeat that. Think of it as only waiting to be reached. A problem only waiting to be solved. Face it with faith. Bend all the great powers of your mind towards solving it. And believe me, solve it you will. So the whole thing boils down to a matter not of problems, which is common to us all, but of our ability to solve. And remember that you are nothing more than the sum total of your thoughts today and for the rest of your lives. Anything that comes to us in the future will come to us as a result of the extent to which we use our minds. Tangible and intangible. Tangible, the clothes we wear, the house we live in, the car we drive. The intangible, or inner satisfaction, the way we feel, or peace of mind. If any person is discontented with what he is receiving from life, he should examine his service, action, and reaction. As he sow, so shall he reap. What you put out is what you must get back in return. We serve humanity. We are interdependent. It would be impossible to live without serving others, as it would be to live if others were not constantly serving us. Your discontent as you enter the work world is represented by the distance between what we have and what it is we want. Now we need to look at ourselves as valuable individuals and ask ourselves, what are we selling our service for? Bearing in mind that if we were to try to produce your minds mechanically, it would cost billions. Let me repeat that. If we were to try to produce your minds mechanically, it would cost billions. And you begin to see yourself as what you really are, an amazing and valuable individual, unlike any other human being that ever lived. Every human being is priceless, but the reward or payment we receive from life varies greatly, tangible and intangible. Forget the past, it's gone. Don't worry yourself with the opportunity you may have missed. but reach out and take each day as it comes. Ask yourself, how can I best use this day? Remember, we are going to run out of them eventually. Be reminded, there are 3 amounts of money each person should decide on as he proceeds through life. 1, the amount of money we need to earn each year. The amount of money we need to have in a saving or investment account. And 3, the amount of money we need upon retirement. Most people never decide on these 3 most important amount of money. Most people learn to enjoy yourself every minute of your life. Be happy now. Every moment should be savored. Remember, human life is nothing more than a collection of hours and days. It will be left up to us as individuals to determine the type of life we want to live or build. We acquire the skill of living successfully, of course you'll agree with me, through knowledge. Knowledge, properly applied, is power. And knowledge is available to us all. Everyone is born ignorant. And while we must remain ignorant for a while, but a person who remains ignorant has only himself to blame. The more we know, the higher will be our upward mobility in life. From the earliest time, the favored class of people has always been the educated class. We must make up our mind to belong to the educated class, because the best way to really enjoy living, it is important to know the person who knows where he is going and who has made up his mind to get there, and is going to get there regardless of his education. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence and determination. It's impossible to be successful without knowing where we are going and what we are working towards. A person's dream, goal sometimes seems so far away, and our progress working towards our goal appears to be so painfully slow that we have the tendency to lose heart. It seems we'll never achieve our goals, and we come close to falling back into old habits, which, while they appear to be comfortable, now leads to nowhere. But the person who tries to live successfully, one day at a time, is going to reach his goal. Remember, a lifetime is nothing more than a number of days put into weeks, months, and years. A successful life is nothing more than a lot of successful days put together. I'd like to repeat that. Remember, a lifetime is nothing more than a number of days put together into weeks, months, and years. A successful life is nothing more than a lot of successful days put together. Perhaps in visiting the past, you recognize that your success was not attributable to any one day, week, or month, but was a consistent, unrelenting, successful succession of a single day that turned the accomplishment. Do not get impatient. Don't let the number of a distraction get you off course. Pay no attention to them. Stay steadily on your path, which will lead you to the accomplishment of your goals. No, if you do what you are called upon to do, your life has to be successful. There's no other answer. Remind yourself that people become exactly what they make up their mind to become and never deviate from their goal. Doing a lot of unnecessary things successfully can be pretty much a waste of time. Make certain that the acts you take the time to do efficiently are important acts. Acts that will move you steadily towards your goal. All any of us need to do is to face each day as it comes in good and cheerful spirit, knowing that we have only to succeed today to guarantee our future. And finally, realize that leaving school or university is just the beginning. The commencement of our days and years of learning. For with wisdom will come kindness, patience, love, understanding, and success as a person. It's never too late to begin. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you so very much for those inspiring words. Yes, indeed. Time is money. Right. I think at this point, there's a presentation to be made to the guest speaker, Stephen, and I believe Deacon Thwaites are to do that presentation. Stephen, yeah? So could you come and do the honor?
Don't tell me you lose your hearing aid again.
lose the back rotate.
Wonderful speech, man.
Thank you.
Pearls of wisdom.
I hope I didn't embarrass you.
No, no, very good. Pearls of wisdom.
Oh boy.
This is the O'Hare building below. So you can become part of St. George's in your living room every evening.
Will be something that will be etched in my memory and my visibility for life.
Yes, man.
Thank you, my friend.
If you weren't here, you're going to be here from now on.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, you want to take...
Good afternoon, everyone. There is a biological process called osmosis. And that is the process that Stephen Hill is trying to achieve with Donovan Lewis. That by amongst him up close to him, he can creolize him with some Georgian blood and make him one of us. And indeed, that process is bound to be successful given what he has said. But it applies to everybody of every school who is present here this afternoon. Thank you so much for coming to this feast of practical advice that Donovan Lewis has given. You know, I wonder if we recognize how fortunate we are, all of us in this room and many, many others. All of us are sixth formers. All of us have the opportunity to achieve a level of scholastic achievement that Mr. Lewis didn't have. When we achieved independence in 1962, there were only 10,000 secondary school places in the island for every grade, from first form through to second six, from grade 7 to grade 13. Many of us criticize and cuss our country, and there are many things to be querulous and critical about. But one of the things that I meditate on this afternoon as I listen to our guest speaker is how very, very fortunate we are to be exposed to the likes of him and to be exposed to the whole texture of secondary education, largely without great cost, that each person in Jamaica has. Clap your country, clap your own opportunity. Many of you have been here for all of the 3 sessions that we have had. And I want you to ask yourself a question when we're finished. What are the lessons that you have learned? What have these occasions taught us? And boastiness and push-up behavior can't get you anywhere in life. We've heard 3 humble men, and Lord, listen to this man this evening speak of himself, speak of the way that success is wrought, not from any pedestal, but rather reasoning with us as human beings. I expected that many of you came here this evening to hear which companies you should invest in, or how the stock market works from the man who is the guru of that in Jamaica. Well, you didn't hear that, did you? What we heard was how to build your character, how to present yourself, how to be respectful to others, how to forego the kind of arrogant selfishness which is so much the order of our day. Yes? How to avoid a sense of entitlement where you believe that you are some victim of circumstances over which you have no control, and rather to take an optimistic, purposeful, persevering aspect to life, and to see this as these qualities, these issues of character development, often submerged and suppressed in some of our school curricula. Am I not right? But being so essential to achieve the kind of heights that Donovan Lewis has. There's another thing that has been constant in all of the 3 lectures, and again today foremost. Mr. Lewis was emotional when he was giving credit to his family. Yes? Relationships are key to success, any success, personal success, business success. That's the lesson. Let me ask you, what kind of family are you proposing young people to build in your lives? What we're talking about is faithfulness and commitment. We've heard the lessons of people who have the security in their lives because they know that they have people with whom they can trust. This is a low society trust in Jamaica, you know, students, friends. It is up to you to build that trust, that texture of relationships in your life. Character is what counts. It seems to me, yes. Another lesson that may have passed you by this evening, because it was said so laconically and simply, is the power of compounding. Compounding your investments, yes, by leaving that 10% to grow over 10% so that you have a corpus of 100%. But also that power of compounding relates to your character and your behavior as well, you know. Yes? And your ability not to see failure as disaster, but to see it and turn it to opportunity, which is surely the major issue of conscience and of reality and of economics of our time post-Melissa. And then, of course, that patina that covered the whole presentation, that if you want to prosper, you have to prosper others as well. Yes? That's a deeply Christian message. It's a deeply religious sentiment that we all can adhere to. And it is an antidote to the selfish individualism that so often we think is the order of the day. And lastly, you heard what he said about time. I don't know, many of us spend and waste so much of our time scrolling through this thing. Yes? Instead of the kind of reflective accretion of knowledge and good judgment and relationship, talking to people, yes, that can make the difference. So there's some rich lessons that we have learned today from Donovan Lewis, and we thank him so much and his family for allowing him to come and share with us. I keep saying to you, at one of the big universities, any of them in the world, you would pay enough money to be exposed to the kind of leadership and the kind of expertise and achievement that has happened in these 3 series of lectures, and particularly today. I'd like to conclude by really thanking my classmate, Stephen Hill, for his energy in putting together this series of lectures. Expanding the minds of a subsequent generation by reference to the successes and failures, the travails and the opportunities of those of us who are long in the tooth is a great gift of any alumni, any alumnus. And Stephen has done that to us. I don't know where he says this is the last of anything, because it's not. I'm suggesting and throwing out the challenge to all of our schools here that we need to keep this thing going. We need to inspire our young people and indeed encourage our older people. Not just by the textbooks and by the computer, but also by the occasion like this where we see people who have done, who have striven, and who have succeeded, and who have had their share of problems, but who can give us encouragement and hope for the future. What a blessing today has been. Give thanks to you, Mr. Donovan Lewis. Give thanks to everyone. What a pleasure. Happy to work. It really is. Good.
Okay, thank you so much, Deacon Thwaites. All right, so now this part of the session today, we're going to have this is a dialogue. We're going to have a panel discussion. There are some select sixth formers, and Ms. McFarlane will be moderating this section. So with the sixth formers, they know who they are, who have been selected. Please come up, have a seat, be comfortable, and have your questions ready for Mr. Lewis. Thank you.
remove the.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think I can get a heartier good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. That's much better. We're transitioning into the dialogue of our program. And to start, we have 3 students that will bowl some questions at Mr. Lewis. With his assistance, that's Catherine Lewis. She's going to assist him in responding or giving responses to your questions so that you too can get some nuggets that you can leave with as you chart your own success. So we'll start with Jerome. Jerome Hales, he is the Student Council President here at St. George's College. Jerome, share your question with Mr. Lewis and to receive a response.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my question to Mr. Lewis is, what is one story from your philanthropic work that has changed the way you view leadership and responsibility?
Well, you know, I must say that we don't recognize that the mind is extremely powerful. And we are born with a tremendous amount of wealth. Our minds, our talent, and our God-given ability. If we utilize these things well, it will pour upon us more abundance than you can ever imagine. Sometimes they say money, yes, lots of it. But what is more important is that you would have received peace of mind. That's one thing most human beings work towards, which is extremely important. And you'll discover this as you proceed through life and enter the work world. Well, the story is, what can I say? You know, that story began perhaps 51 years ago when I met my wife. And like, what can I say? I don't know. Yes.
He doesn't have one story. He has many stories, and I don't think any can come to mind right now.
We'll move to our next question. That's coming from Jaden Frey. Jaden Frey is a first-year student at St. George's College and a past student of the Convent of Mercy Alpha. Go ahead, Jade.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Lewis, in your opinion, what sectors will offer the greatest opportunities for young innovators in the coming decade?
One of the greatest sectors is we need to look at the capital market. Most people function or look at the money market, which is a short-term investment. The capital market is involved in long-term investments. And one of the years that I've trotted over the years, and it has benefited me tremendously, is the stock market and its selections. Selecting great companies which will richly reward you in the future. And you don't have to look very far. You can look around and figure which are the largest companies in Jamaica and just invest in those companies. And will give you rich rewards. And you don't have to worry. Don't be impatient. Just go about it and embrace it. As you go through life, it will richly reward you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. And our final panelist, Mr. Ricardo Ellis. Mr. Ellis. Mr. Ellis is one of our 2 deputy head boys here at St. George's College.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. All right, Mr. Lewis, my question. So, based on your experiences in investing in and leading some of Jamaica's most influential companies, what leadership values do you believe most young people must develop in order to succeed in today's rapidly changing economy?
Yes. One of the most important things is determination. You must be persistent. You must bend all the powers of your mind to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. That being void, you'll get nowhere. You'll be like a ship without a rudder. And you know, a ship without a rudder try to drift into a rich and successful port, and that is not possible. If it tries to drift, there's 1,000 miles of rocky coastline. The chance of it drifting into port is 1,000 to 1.
Thank you very much, young people. We'll now give the audience the opportunity to ask Mr. Lewis just 1 question. And we're limiting this section to only 5 questions. All right? So you now have an opportunity as the audience to ask Mr. Lewis 1 question, and we're taking 5 questions. We'll have somebody moving around to assist you. I'm seeing a hand over there.
Check.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis, we've been hit by a Category 5 hurricane, which is going to decimate the economy. How best will Jamaica recover from this, and what advice would you give to see that Jamaica gets back on a relatively good playing field?
People must recognize that this is not a short-term venture that we are in. It's a long-term period of our lives that we'll experience ups and downs. And this will materialize, in my opinion, over the next 10 years. You cannot build a society for centuries and expect that it's going to materialize or be rectified within a short period of time. Life doesn't work that way. It will take a number of years before we build. Right now, we're talking about the wiping out of 40% of the gross domestic product of this country. Therefore, we can never replace or build this back within a 5, 8 year period. It will have to be accomplished over a long period of time, perhaps 10 years or more. And we have to rely on the various agencies, the way in which the government places funds, and the distribution of that funds. It's so important because in doing that, we have a lot of people who might not handle the resources of the country properly. As a result of that, it will set back our progress not 10 years, but perhaps 20 years. So we have to be careful how we allocate the resources that has been given to us by other countries, and also the various banks, the World Bank, the International Trust, and I'm sorry, the IMF, how well we utilize these funds for growth and development. And one of the most important things that we need to look at is the honesty, the way in which we deploy these resources, and how we grow from there.
There's a hand from that young man in the Georges section. We'll take that question. Identify yourself.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Joshua Lewis. I am I'm a lower 6 student, and my question to you, Mr. Lewis, is that throughout the years of developing multitudes of businesses and having dealt with trials and errors, my question to you is, what do you define as success?
Success, perhaps, is defined as a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Anybody who is successfully working towards that ideal, you can regard them as successful. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to have a lot of money or work towards money. But what we are working towards, it could be, for example, establishing a number of students within a classroom. It might be establishing a little corner business establishment. What you decide to do, it depends on you as an individual. Your goal, your determination, and your persistency in moving towards these various aspects of your life.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. I'll take a question from the young man here from Jamaica College.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shakuri Fuller from Jamaica College. Earlier during the seminar, you talked about financial independence and how you change from being a feeder into a contributor. I just want to ask, like, some financial advice you have for young people.
The financial advice that I would give you is to be determined to accomplish your goals, to set your goals in the first instance, and to try to maximize or do whatever you're called upon to do. There's a number of things that might touch upon the goals that we need to look at, or the goals that we need to embrace in life. And I find in my journey throughout life, I decided to focus on the market, which is the stock market, in acquiring various companies that I think will grow and give us a reward. A lot of people will figure, oh, why focus on the market? Why not real estate? Because a lot of youngsters will look at the real estate aspect and say, yes, that's the area that I should grow or depend on my establishment to really develop the growth. What I find in my life is that a good investment is something that has absolutely no attending cost. And by this I mean the cost of repairs and maintenance to that property that you have, the cost of taxes that you have to pay on the rental income, the cost of insurance, etc., etc. So there's a number of costs that is involved in various types of investment. The only investment that I see that does not attract that cost is investing in great companies, which does not have any attending cost. The only cost that you might think about is the withholding tax that you may pay on that, and that is even minimizing the taxes that you are going to pay. The normal taxation rate is 25%. Being taxed on dividend that you receive is only 15%.
Wow.
And not only that, too, I find in my life that if we want to obtain funds, and one of the most important things that I should have pointed out, what every youngster should do is ensure that he develops at an early stage of his life a relationship between himself and his banker. Remember that. Start out small, borrow, pay back, so you can build your credit rating. If you don't, when the time comes and the opportunity comes, it will not hold you in good stead, because you will never have somebody to help you or for you to embrace that opportunity that you see that need funding at a particular time.
Thank you. I'm seeing a hand from a young man from St. Catherine High School. Go right ahead.
All right, first and foremost, good morning, Mr. Donovan Lewis. Greetings. Good afternoon, actually. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Identify yourself by name.
So, I am Omarion Green, and I come from the noble institution of St. Catherine High School as a representative. So, my question for you, Mr. Donovan Lewis, is that when I first came into sixth form, I have faced challenges regarding criticism, pressure, and also setbacks. And I'm wondering, since you have a long experience of drawbacks, if you were to have any, what advice would you give to me that reflects on how you tackle those issues and bounce back stronger than you ever were? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Well, one of the foremost things I think everybody should have in their lives is trust in the Almighty God. We will never get anywhere unless we embrace His words and stick by them, to be truthful and to be honest. Here's no other way, you know. Make sure that it's like you have your father. What you need to do is to say good morning to your father every morning. You need to say to the Almighty God, thank you, Father, for the bountiful blessings and mercies that have bestowed upon me today. It is so important that most of us don't do it. It's like any father. If you don't do that, what do you think will happen? He will never pour upon you the blessings that you want. You'll just be moving from one place to the other and achieving absolutely nothing at all. So my advice is to make sure that every morning you thank the Father for His many blessings and mercies. Also, it might be instructive to make sure that you read your Bible every day, every morning. It will teach you a lot of lessons. It teaches you how to be a successful person, or to trod the road of mediocrity and walk the way of poverty. So, if you read that, walk the way of prosperity, my daughter just corrected me. It is so important. So what we need to do is to look ahead and praise the Almighty God for His bountiful blessings and mercies. Every day we get up, we don't know what tomorrow will bring. So make sure that you do that on a daily basis. Thank you.
And I think just to add, my father actually brought his Bible here, so he doesn't go anywhere without it. So it's actually on the podium with him. So to answer your question, I think what he's saying is that when you're faced with criticism, go to the Lord.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. I'll take the young lady from St. Hugh's High School.
Pleasant morning. My name is Jana Claire, and my question is, how do you balance short-term wins with long-term sustainability?
Repeat your question.
How do you balance short-term wins with long-term sustainability?
We have to be careful, or sometimes we look at the short-term aspect of our lives. Life is, to start with, life is a long-term investment. It's not short-term. We have to walk the path, and on that path will be ups and downs, part of success and part of failure. And remember what I said in my presentation, you need to balance them. You need to ensure that they are the same side of the coin. So we need to do what we are called upon to do and work with that.
I think also what my father is saying is that do not get too carried away with the short-term wins. It might lead you down a path that is not the right path for you. Look at more sustainable goals and aspirations to balance it.
Thank you. And the last question, the young man from St. George's College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dejan Kirkland. Just a small question. Of course, it's not easy to be an extraordinary businessman and family man. So my question is, in the initial stage of your career, how did you maintain and manage your family life as well as your business life?
To start with, it's very important to have a wife that stands by you. Certainly. Extremely important. And also your family. If you don't have these standing beside you and addressing sometimes the disappointment, and to actually pat you on the back and say, don't worry, just continue the path that you're continuing on. So it is so important as far as the family is concerned, wife, and indeed your children, that perhaps one day you'll find you yourself will have a family. But please, I beg you, respect the wife that you have and respect your children. And most of all, hug your children every day. That's a void that I did not get while I was a young man growing up. As a matter of fact, most of the people, elderly people, they never get that. But you, as young people, need to do that as soon as you get your family. Make sure that you embrace your children every day. Praise them. Tell them how grateful you are to have them around you. This is some of the things that will hold you in good stead throughout your life.
Thank you. A very profound response. That's it for question and answer section. Thank you, panelists, and thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Catherine. May we have a round of applause for Mr. Lewis, the panelists, and for those students who were brave enough to ask their questions. Thank you very much. We're transitioning nicely. So before we close, just a break in transmission. On the 12th of December, we will be hosting a very nice evening of excellence. And on that note, I will invite the team that is preparing themselves to be on exhibition. They are no other than the young ladies and the young men of St. George's College who will be participating in the Mr. and Miss St. George's pageant on December 12th. Cheer them on, cheer them on. So as they come, I will ask them to introduce themselves by saying their name and their contestant number.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jada Shade Walters, contestant number 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Wayne Cox, contestant number 1.
Good evening, everyone. I am Kelly Dawkins, contestant number 2.
Good evening, everyone. I am Devon Lecky, contestant number 8.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am JD Chandiramani, and I am contestant number 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kelly Marie Williams, and I am contestant number 4. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Messari Henry, and I am contestant number 4. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ashane Atkinson, contestant number 5.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Alexander Bailey, contestant number 5.
A pleasant good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rihanna Morgan, and I am contestant number 6. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Jazzy Bell Davis, and I'm contestant number 6.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nikia Miller, contestant number 7.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Curry, and I am contestant number 8.
And on that note, I present to you all the contestants that will be on show December 12th here in the Abisa Auditorium. Can we see them once again? Tickets are on sale. Pre-sold $1,500 for adults and $2,000 at the gates. We do have student tickets. 2-for-1 tickets are currently being sold. You can see any of the contestants for your tickets, or Miss Taylor, or any member of the pageant team. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them a round of applause for their display this afternoon.
Mr. and Miss St. George's College 2025. Woo!
In this night of starry sky, my baby.
But some more than others were most excited to be here. As soon as that invitation was extended, they already or immediately responded to say that we are coming. So we're going to do the usual roll call of all the students that are represented here. It is indeed a pleasure to have you all. And we will start with our closest neighbor. That would be the young men from Kingston College. Where are you? No, that could never be your cheer. With no 40s there? No. Let's replay. Let's replay. No in the 40s? So let us hear the young men from Kingston College. All right, thank you very much. How about the young ladies from St. Hugh's High School? We need to hear your cheer. All right, say that again. We didn't hear that one. All right, thank you. Let me hear from the young men from Jamaica College. Few in numbers, but big impact. Can I hear it for the ladies from all the way from St. Mary? That's Marymount High School. You have to make your principal very proud now, you know. No, say that again, man. Knowing the principle that you have to do it again and do it properly. Let's go. The ladies from Marymount. All right, in goodness and in truth. And for the very first time, we're pleased to have you. We have representatives from Hillel Academy. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. What about the young people from Spanish Town, St. Catherine High School? Mighty indeed. Mighty indeed. And our very own sisters from the convent of Alpha. I believe we did that already. No? The Alpharians, where are you? All right. That's Alpha. There is a group at the back. I can't identify them properly. Is that Camperdown? Oh, Holy Trinity. My bad. Let me hear for the team from Holy Trinity. All right. Only the best is good enough. What about Campion College? Where are you? Ready strong. And because we are blue blood, we know the Georgians can do much better than that. Whereas in St. George's College, Knights and Dames, where are you? Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. And on that note, Mrs. Margaret Campbell, Principal, Mr. Donovan Lewis, our keynote speaker, Mrs. Suzette Douglas, the Vice Principal of Upper School Division, Mr. Huntley Anderson, the Vice Principal of the Lower School Division, members of the academic and support staff, our specially invited guests from the various schools that are here with us today, parents, guardians, the Knights and Dames of St. George's College, what a wonderful afternoon it has been. It is with great pleasure that I give the vote of thanks on behalf of the St. George's College family. This, the third staging of the St. George's College lecture series, could have not been possible without the different individuals and teams who have come together for its production. A huge thank you to our sponsors, First Global Bank, or today, Cafe Blue, Flow Foundation, Mr. Philip Wong, True Foundation, and our parent sponsor, Miss Higgins. You all have contributed significantly to make this series of events a success. Your donations and services are highly appreciated. Your dedication to supporting this series from the beginning shows that you have kept your word to contribute to the inspiration of youth who are the leaders of today and tomorrow. We especially appreciate Phase 3's production services. You came on board at our very first lecture and you have stuck with us. Thank you for continuing to produce our lecture series in a way that is professional, efficient, and of good quality. Ms. Vernal, Kellis, Tatiana, William, Jaim Guthrie, and team, I would like to thank you for your organizing and leading your organization and leading the students' graphic team to make the promotional posters, flyers, pictures, and videos of the series of events. Thank you so much for your hard work. It will never be unnoticed. To the technical support and sound engineering team, which includes Brother Miguel, Matthew McPherson, Mr. Montague, and Mr. Goldburn. You are an amazing group, simple to deal with, and I commend you for the precision and attention to details as you are so willing to execute a smooth gearbox from start of the series. Your efforts are appreciated. To my student volunteers, and those of you who have been promoting the series from the very start, I am sure you feel satisfied knowing that your participation in this series would have been so simple but significant to today's success. One click is all it takes, sharing the right content at the right time in the right spaces. I would like to thank the ever-present, never-absent auxiliary and support staff. This is one of the core teams who always render their contributions behind the scenes. Mr. Francis and team, you are absolutely vital to our success. When we win, you also win. Thank you. And to the team who decorated the space, if I do say so myself, the space is comfortable and beautifully done. Mr. Curtis Myrie, it is such a privilege to have you on our team. You have served in the capacity of an advisor and media consultant. Wholeheartedly, I thank you. To the planning committee, Mr. Stephen Hill, Dr. Trevor Monroe, Matthew McPherson, Nandri Kibbert, and Mr. Peter Lindo, we are now closing the curtains on a high, and with a calm assurance, knowing that our efforts will leave an indelible mark in the history of St. George's College. Mr. Hill and Dr. Monroe, you had a vision that knew no bounds. It is your commitment to nation building through St. George's College. You have created a means for upliftment to these young people who will become pioneers of tomorrow. It is through these dialogues they will find their own path to success and then pass on their wisdom when they become luminaries of hope and transformational leaders. Thank you, gentlemen, for your consistency, confidence, and commitment. And to you, our guests, especially those from the various schools who showed up today, you have become friends of St. George's College. I hope it was an enriching experience for you and that you will leave with valuable wisdom and content. And finally, Mr. Lewis, our very own Warren Buffett, a trailblazer, and more specifically, an entrepreneurial whiz, the genie of investment. Your journey to entrepreneurial success is not just insightful, but also inspiring. I particularly appreciate your view that wealth extends beyond financial assets. Though it is important, it also includes the overall well-being, which includes our physical and our emotional health. Knowledge properly applied is power. Relationships are important for success. And our greatest asset is our mind and time. Certainly, these are nuggets that have us thinking quite a lot. And the last words. And the last words. And the last words. All right, so until the media team gets it together, I will invite Father Asphalt to move forward to do the prayer of thanksgiving. Father Asphalt. And the last words.
I did a stock on the local stock market and called Miss Barker, and exactly what you guys might be doing in the future, perhaps 4 or 5 years from now. You will call Miss Barker and say, Miss Barker, what do you think about it? This is the part this is the area that I need to invest in. Give me some ideas. And obviously, you'll understand what wealth creation is all about. It's not, you cannot, as I said before, you can never become wealthy on an 8-hour a day work week. It's impossible. And I recognize that our early stage. So what the whole thing boils down to is investing. Investing for yourself as well as for your family and your future. So there's not magical about it.
Let us pray. Bow your heads, please. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. God, we thank you for St. George's College, for the men and women who have been students of this institution, who have made an indelible mark on the nation and on the world at large. Thank you for the Society of Jesuits, who have been the key stakeholders at this institution. Thank you for Donovan Lewis, our presenter this afternoon, for his late parents, George and Gertrude, his family, friends, co-workers, staff, gathered here, we who have listened to his story of achievement, ambition, inspiration, accomplishment, resilience, struggles, and focus. Thank you for our time together, and may we go forth from this place, blessed and inspired, through Jesus Christ our Lord. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you, and may he give you his peace. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and let the people of God say, Amen.
Thank you. I'll ask that you please stand for the singing of the St. George's College School song.
Testing 1, 2, test.
Test.
Testing, test.
Guys, let 4 be at the front and the rest go behind here. No, hold it.
Ready? Then walk at the front of the new.
Ever guiding all who
tall cathedral shine. Lord St. George's, oh, her children watches day and night. And the very breeze of spring, rarest hillside. All his foes, told and swinging, flaunts the blue and white. Wave her colors ever, furl her standards never. Raise it high and proudly cry, St. George's sons forever. Where the tropic sun is beaming from the campus bright. See the grand old banner streaming, St. George's blue and white. SDGC, 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 SDGC. Judges, judges.
I didn't do it. Hey, you can't kill me.
What? I told you.
I didn't do anything. Hello. I didn't